Adult Swim, or is it just kind of like you guys pick it on your own, or what goes into that?
Well, actually, so Run the Jewels in particular, I help put Run the Jewels together. So whenever Run the Jewels does an album, Adult Swim sort of funds them making the album, and then we get the music to use on the air. So that's with every album from Run the Jewels. But then in general, all the music stuff is picked by me, but then the editors, Sarah and Johnny, have the task of me handing them thousands of albums worth of music from different labels and just going, pick some good music, good luck. And 10 hours later, they're still going through the tracks, but they select the tracks that go into the promos a lot of the time. And would you say it's an embarrassment of riches to have so much great music at your fingertips, guys?
It's hard not to use Run the Jewels for every promo. We've been told not to at some points. Like, you're using it too much. Like, cut it out. No, it's hard not to use it all the time. It's so good, right?
And there's not a lot of talk, even though we're the three of us that work for Toonami. We are all right near each other, but we don't really talk too much. So we could all be potentially using a Run the Jewels song on whatever promo we're working on. And then there's other editors that do Adult Swim, and they could also be pulling Run the Jewels. So it runs. I'll notice there will be these areas, points of time where there's just tons of it on our bumps and promos, and it's just kind of how it works, because it's just solid music that makes great promos.
Thanks you guys a lot.
We're gonna do about 5 more minutes of questions, and then we're gonna show the Lupin episode. So
I will say, if you guys are a fan of the music on Toonami, there actually is a fan panel tomorrow that's focusing on your music.
I did not know that.
It'll be at 10, so you can get out of the panel and go watch Samurai
Can
Jack.
I show up and disagree? I disagree. I don't like that.
So we'll go to question 12 here.
You win an action figure, question 12.
Yes!
I'm a name.
Oh, sorry. But my question, before I ask my question, I want to say thank you. You guys are the reason I really got into anime. Like, I started watching when I was young, so I appreciate everything.
Thank you for watching.
Thank you. But my question is, from the statement you made earlier, when you asked everyone's reaction to the ending of Samurai Jack, you had 50-50 responses. So I was kind of asking, what was your thoughts on the last episode, or what did you want to happen or think would happen on the last episode of Samurai Jack?
Me personally?
Yes.
So I saw the ending, and Johnny did, before it was out there, and I kind of knew that the reaction would be mixed because it's a sad ending.
Yeah.
But I always knew that it would be a sad ending because I just know I know Gendy's mind well enough to know that that's what he was thinking all along. So it wasn't a surprise to me, and I think it ended great, to be clear.
Yeah.
I thought that ending was wonderful, and I think Jack is a bittersweet character and was always supposed to be sort of a tragic character, but I totally understand why people would go on this long journey and want him to have a true happy ending. But like I said, endings are one of the hardest things to do when you're making television, and I think it was a great ending.
I think it had a little bit of hope at the end, too.
I think it did. Yeah.
Can I tell a fun side story about the final episode?
Yeah.
The storyboard for the final episode came in, and our boss, she got it, and she's like, "We just got the storyboard. Do you want to watch this?" And we just start scrolling all the way to the end, 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 and we start watching. We're like, "Oh God! Like, I didn't see that coming at all." We're like, well, that'll teach us for looking ahead.
Yeah, but so it means none of that, all of the whole Samurai Jack show, none of that happened because he went back in time.
Yeah.
And
Back
so
to the past.
none of it exists.
Don't get too deep in the time travel paradox, Johnny.
No, I've gone.
We'll
I've
have to
thought
talk about the
it and thought
Terminator
about it.
movies, and it's just
I've thought about it and thought about it. Like,
it just eats itself, yeah.
And there are some great Samurai Jack comic books out there if you want more stories of him fighting a coup. Go to question 13,
Thank
Lucky
you, guys.
13.
Thanks.
Besides Naruto, I've heard that the downfall for the original Toonami was because of the fourth redesign of Bob. Is that true?
Tom?
Who?
The redesign of Tom, you mean?
Yeah.
No.
Once again,
Yeah.
honestly, if you've heard a reason, it's not the reason.
Yeah, that wasn't. I mean, I will say that when we redesigned Tom and had a bunch of different characters talking with mouths and Thomas the Tank Engine faces,
It made it more technically complicated to make more things, but
Yeah.
that didn't hurt us in a way that would have
Yeah,
taken us off the air. It just
not a direct correlation.
I think we have time for one more question then. So
One more question?
The Sean Akins interview for the 20th anniversary, he actually does go into that a bit. So if anyone else really wants to hear his side of the story,
Want to know all about Tom Ford?
gives a nice little side thing about how kind of Toonami came to an end.
we've got question 14.
I do. So I'm a Hit of Cat on Twitter, and I told you I was going to ask you music questions. I did want to say thank you for showing off Moltar. It means a lot to the older fans, and Clay was a cool guy.
He was.
Yes, he was. So my main question is, and I'm going to that panel tomorrow because I missed it last year. What's Joe Boy Vigil and Tommy Guerrero doing? I'd love to hear their music on there.
Tommy Guerrero still makes music.
Yeah.
And I mean, he was obviously a famous skater before he made music. So I think he still does sort of whatever retired skaters do in terms of exhibitions and stuff. But he also still makes music and puts out albums.
Yeah.
And then Joe moved to Boston about 10, 15 years ago. And I know he put out an album. But since then, we've lost touch. We don't know what Joe's up to these days. But I'm sure he's making music because he always has.
All right, cool, man. Thank you.
Thank you.
And I think we have one last question from the chat.
I have two. Is that okay? One's
Sure.
quick. Will Big O play on the stream again?
Yes.
Okay, great. And then, here we go. Fooly Cooly Season 2, question mark?
It's happening.
Yes.
Is there any sort of, can you give us any more detail on that other
We
than
can't
it's
yet
happening?
because we very much, everybody involved, production IG, all the personnel, us, want it to live up to Fooly Cooly, which means it needs to take as much time as it needs to take to be as good as it needs to be. We will have some updates on that in the next couple months for sure, but nothing I can tell you right now, which is killing me because I really want to talk about it, but I can't. Great
Thank you.
question.
Thank
Chat.
I think we had great questions all night,
We
didn't
had
we?
good questions. Thank you, everybody. Give yourselves a round of applause. Thank you for the questions and thank you for coming. So
And
let's run that Lupin episode and stop yapping.
Yeah.
So after the episode, we'll be hanging out over there signing stuff. If anybody wants to get anything signed or say hello, we'll be there after the episode's over. So thanks for coming, guys.
And now a world premiere of Lupin.
Yeah, world premiere. Do it.
Thanks, everybody.
Premiere that shit.
Thanks, everybody.
Yeah.